Welcome back to the metaverse. So I just got done watching the episode and I thought I would do something a little different. I woke up this morning, I saw it, and I gotta be honest with you, man. These last two episodes, including the two that just came out just now, are, if you could imagine someone from the HoloNet News, and they would have an inside scoop into certain parties inside of the Clone Wars. This would be prime example of that. You know, we get like an inside scoop. We get firsthand experiences of events that we thought we kind of knew what happened, but it's just fleshing it out a little bit better. And it is amazing. It was a great choice that they went with, just even start the episode like they started out with the music. We have the scene with Ahsoka. Maul is sitting, he's walking around in circles and he's talking to Ahsoka, and you know, you get this sense of dread and you get this sense of like a foreboding, and you know what's gonna happen. You've seen it 100 times, right? But just sitting right there in that moment watching that scene, it's chilling. It's really it's done really well. It's just crazy. We know who Maul is. I myself am a moderate Star Wars fan. I grew up with Star Wars. I saw it ever since I was a kid. I actually went to go see the Return of the Jedi when it first came out. But I digress. My knowledge it's fair, but you know, there's a lot of events that I know, but most people know who Darth Maul is from his arc, from the Phantom Menace through Clone Wars, through Rebels. You know, most people know his arc. And so it is very, very chilling, you know, when he says the moment may be upon us, you know. And I'm sitting, and you know, I'm actually when I'm looking at Ahsoka, I'm looking at Maul, and I'm trying to digest the scene. I can only imagine that she's looking at Maul through the lenses that, even though she might have fell out with the Jedi Order, I think she, like most people, they're looking at Maul through a certain lens, right? But you're not able to really understand the scope of the plan, which is revealed by Obi-Wan during the hologram transmission. The name Darth Sidious comes up, and I'm you know what, you're watching the episode, man. The music's on point. You know, there's not a high note in the episode yet. You know, the music is like the emotion of the scene, and it also kind of instructs your emotions how to feel, and it's so intense the whole time. I'll probably go back and watch it after this, but you know, now in this scene, this is after the sewer, and we are informed by Obi-Wan that Anakin has killed Count Dooku. This is very, you know, the events are running side by side, and it's going to be interesting. I've heard different things that, you know, they're going to come back and I guess do maybe hopefully another season of the Clone Wars. If they do that, it'll be very interesting to get certain stories of other Jedi, you know, and it's like I had in my last video, there's so many questions. I've seen tons of fan-made fiction or fan-covered stories where they explain how Darth Sidious, aka Palpatine, was able to hide his plans and even his dark force presence from the Jedi Council. You know, Palpatine and Yoda and Mace Windu, Obi-Wan, most of the council, man, they met face to face on numerous occasions ever since the Phantom Menace, and it boggles my mind. No one knew. You know, they're going to have to explain this in the Clone Wars somehow. If they do come out with another season, this is going to have to be thoroughly explained in canon. I mean, not just in book form, not just in other, you know, various forms of media. You know, this needs to be explained in canon. And the look on Ahsoka's face right when Obi-Wan mentions that Anakin killed Count Dooku, and then also the interplay that they're giving you. You know, Obi-Wan, of course, was knocked out during that battle, but you know, just him explaining how Dooku is a valuable piece, and you know, Dooku, he wasn't going to give up any information anyway, but just him explaining that, and how the actions of certain characters and how they play out could affect the plot, you know, is a very interesting take that they performed quite well, expertly in this episode. Even in the season, you know, we thought, you know, certain Star Wars fans saw certain episodes as throwaway episodes, when in fact they were really they were laying the groundwork for what's going to happen. Even, you know, in episode Unfinished Business, the fourth episode on Anaxis with Trench, After Anakin had gotten the information from him, he killed him. Even after he knew how to stop the bomb, he still killed him. So even in the Clone Wars series, they are laying the groundwork, which begs the next question: are they going to cover the episode? Is there going to be an episode with Mace Windu after he dies, and how are they going to cover this whole entire? It is very fascinating how they're doing it. I hope they come out with just a little bit more content to help contextualize the events and the story threads that have been happening in this in the entire Star Wars universe. Another thing I was thinking about as well is how even in the scene with Obi-Wan on the holo transmission, even the moves that the Jedi Council is making, they are falling right into Palpatine's hands. We need something to flesh this out. We need something to get more backdrop and story to how all this is playing out. When Obi-Wan's telling he wants to speak with Ahsoka alone. And he mentions to her that the Anakin's on a secret assignment, by order of the council. This is further getting into why. And there's a video I also want to do as well. It's in the works. It's in the pipeline. How the Jedi itself, how they have become their own downfall. And I just want to kind of give you the particulars. I want to give you a well-rounded story arc and how all that played out. Because again, the fact that Obi-Wan wanted to speak with Ahsoka alone, and the fact that he's divulging this information to her, and also if you really look at the backstory that Obi-Wan has himself with his master Qui-Gon, he's been there, and also I think what they're doing as well is they're laying the seeds. So when Ahsoka or her series comes out, or either her series or Obi-Wan's series, they'll be able to interact with each other on a more friendlier, even a more understanding basis, based on how the entire fall of the Jedi and the rising of the Empire, took place. For those of you who are listening, this is a review, sorta, but this is more so me diving into my impressions of the episode. So, just kind of bear with me, if you will. But yeah, we go to the one scene where Maul is interrogating Jesse, and we see Ahsoka come up to the clone trooper that she said she calls his name Sterling. She said, and Maul is sitting there and he's monologuing to himself, and he's talking about the grand plan. This whole entire front end of the episode is the meat of the episode, and as well, you can't help but talk about the lightsaber battle in this particular episode. This lightsaber battle, and I know I'm jumping ahead, but this is just me again, giving my thoughts. Man, that lightsaber battle was nuts, crazy. But the scene with Almec, Prime Minister Almec in his holding cell, alluding to Maul starting the whole entire conflict, being his plan, how he wanted to lure Skywalker there. Not just Obi-Wan. His plan was actually to lure Obi-Wan there in hopes that Skywalker would be in tow, because he had a vision. And that was the whole entire point of this episode, was showing how Darth Maul himself saw more in a vision than the Jedi did. Just let that sink in. I mean, even in the scene when Ahsoka is talking to Darth Maul, or more so Darth Maul is talking to Ahsoka, and he's saying, everything he's saying about they're being used by higher, powers. And just look at how the scene is structured. Darth Maul himself he's not in a light, but he's not obscured by the light as much as Ahsoka is. Very telling. We're seeing how things are playing out, and we're seeing all of Revenge of the Sith come to fruition. But one quick point I want to point out, the reason why this episode is called The Phantom Apprentice is simply because the offer that Maul made to Ahsoka. And can you imagine the what if stories that's going to spin off from that? But anyway. But again, the lightsaber battle, man, listen, there were moments of that lightsaber battle where you can tell, as the more we, consume Star Wars, and the more Star Wars produces its content, how they're getting very skilled at how they tell their stories, of how they, certain things play out, action play out, plot points play out. things of that nature. But that lightsaber battle had everything, so many callbacks. It made me think about Luke saying, "You see, I'm full of surprises." Moments from Anakin against Count Dooku. So much of the Star Wars lightsaber lore was included into that, and it just and really written so well that it even became its own, thing. It's ranked. It's gonna be ranked high. It's gonna be very at the top of the list when it comes to like lightsaber battles. Even just the way he started the battle at the same exact way he did in Phantom Menace. Man, it's gonna I can't wait to see what else the series has in store, man. These last 2 episodes, they're gonna be so bittersweet to see it all play out, and I just hope that they come with more content after this season, man. Until then, man, have a good day, man. Thanks for the meditate. Thanks for meditating with me, and the whole nine, man. Appreciate it, man. See you guys later.